I got the horse right here, the name is Paul Revere, and here's a guy that says if the weather's clear, can do.
Hello racing fans, and welcome back to another edition of Handicapper's Corner, brought to you by the Derby Bar and Grill. I'm Mike Heads, along with Drew Forster. We're going to go through the Sunday, May the 10th races at Hastings, and we do have 8 races on tap. Excellent weather forecast. It should be a fun afternoon.
Yeah, absolutely, and we'll see what happens on Saturday, but we do have the Sweep 6.
The Sea to Sky.
Sea to Sky Sweep 6 in our last 6 races. That pool continues to grow if nobody hits it on Saturday. Yeah. It's at 10,000 on Saturday, so if nobody hits it, it'll be another good carryover for Sunday. Race Secretary put together a good card. We'll jump right into it. The first race is a 3-year-olds end up claiming 16,000. Nice little race of a few horses here that ran opening weekend in a 25.
Yep.
I went with the 3 Franzer's Finest, who comes out of that 25. He's not really a 6 furlong horse. He's not really a 6.5 horse, but I thought that was a good runner-up effort behind Cowie Creek, and it's finally Friday. Speed was holding on, and the fact that he closed a little bit into that I like. Drops down to the $16,000 level. Richard Hamill sticks with him, and I like Franzer's Finest to win this for our good friend Praven Sorensen. The second spot I put after the conflict, a very good effort in that 16 with the Lord 500 and Bear Rock and Roll, where he led the whole way and just kind of got tired late and run down by 2 very salty horses in Bear Rock and Roll and Lord 500. And third spot, I put Street Map. John Snow's off to a very good start, and he can have him ready. Another guy who has his own farm, so you know this one has a good base into him. Even though you might not see all the works, this horse has probably been in training since January, and his horse is John's off to a very good start. 5 out of 9 running in the money, and I put the Son of Street Cry, well-bred Son of Street Cry, in the third spot. I went 3-5-4.
Yeah. I'm going to go to the 5 horse after the conflict. I think this horse is going to get the lead. Blinkers off, but I still think that obviously David Lopez rode the horse once and might have felt that with a little less blinker, this horse might have been more, closer to winning against Lorne 500 and Bear Rock and Roll and Ishkar. I mean, that was a tough 16. That was a dirty, tough race. This is a lot easier event for after the conflict. And I think he clears and gets the lead, and he at least play catch me if you can, and if they catch him, great, but I think he's going to be tough. I put the 2 horse Ambidextrous Duke in for second. The trainer John Morrison, who owns this horse with his wife Kim, also trains the horse, and this horse is protected for 16,000 and has a string of excellent works. Relatively unseasoned, but closed out last year once the blinkers were removed with 2 back-to-back impressive victories. And I think he's a horse with a lot of upside as well, so he might be worth a look. And I put the 3 Franzer's Finest in for third. As you mentioned off the top, probably not at his best sprinting, but he's still a pretty classy dude, and he may make his presence felt in stretch. I was just worrying about the pace scenario for him because he has no speed. And if there's a pace scenario, then he'll be a factor. But if there isn't, it's going to be tough for him to win the race. But I went 5, 2, and 3. In the Sunday
As
opener.
I said last week at Brass and Gold, he doesn't want to sprint.
I know, of course, never fails. You put him right in the winner's circle.
Yes, I did.
On to the second race, maiden $4,000 Colts and Geldings. I got 7 of them signed on to go 6.5 furlongs. I ended up on the 3-horse 3-way trade. Kind of liked him with Similkameen Luke last time. Similkameen Luke at big price got in there to win it. But this horse I thought ran a reasonable race. I don't love the horse. He's a horse that has no speed, which is always dangerous on our track when you don't have speed and you're going to be even money or something. Yeah. You're a vulnerable favorite when that's the case, and there isn't a pile of speed in here. So I do like him, though. He's got the best resume. His numbers are the best, and I'll take him to win it. If someone beats him, it might be the 4-horse Nana's Buddy for John Snow. I thought a pretty good runner-up effort to Laundered Money. It didn't break very well. Still, they ran the last part of the race very quickly, and this horse was keeping pace with the eventual winner, Laundered Money. So I don't mind this horse. And I put the 6, Uncle Clarence, another one, no speed, but has a lot of experience, and this horse was running late. Running in some tougher maidens last year, and this race hasn't come up super tough. But I went 3, 4, and 6, but I do like, I guess, 3-way trade. Not the best even money shot you're ever going to find, but it's the best I could come up with in the second race.
Yeah, I did the same. I went with 3-way trade. He gets the 3-hole for a second straight race for 3-way trade. Yeah, his resume is the best. Nice 68 buyer behind Similkameen Luke last time. If somebody's going to beat him, I agree. The 2 horses I think that are tough in here are him and Nana's Buddy, are the John Snow barn. Nana's Buddy switches to the very talented Antonio Reyes, so that could give him a little bit more of an advantage for John Snow. Him and Antonio Reyes off to a good start together. Just 2 starts. One of those was a winner for 50%. I think it's those 2. I looked around for another horse, and a horse that I had my picks last time, I'm going to give him another shot, was Sure Loot. Didn't show much his first start, but for those connections, and they're bringing him back in 2 weeks, Anita Bolton, Bob Chima, Pedro Alvarado, I'll give him another shot, put him in my 3rd spot. I went 3, 4, and 7.
I should note before we go on to the 3rd race too that John Snow didn't take Gabby Asensio off this Nana's buddy to put Antonio Reyes on. He got hurt in the morning.
Yeah.
Gabriel Asensio, just so you know that because he rides some live horses for John.
He won the double last week.
Last week,
he won the early double,
and he won one of them for John. But yeah, hopefully a speedy recovery for Gabby Asensio. Come off a horse in the morning, had a cut ankle, a little swollen, and hopefully he'll be back next weekend.
One of the
I just wanted to,
harder working.
Yeah, no, the kid works hard.
Good
and
guys.
It's great to see him get a few. He gallops a ton in the morning. This Gabriel Asensio. He doesn't get a lot of opportunities in the afternoon, but John Snow is definitely one that gives him a shot. And he would be on this horse if he was healthy, but unfortunately
and he made the most of it last weekend, getting the early double.
Yes, he did.
On to the 3rd, Fillies and Mares claiming 5,000 non-winners of the year. I went to kind of the logical horse here, Jazz Unlimited. Just got beat by CA Miss, who was in protected last time. And CA Miss, when she runs at this level, is extremely salty. Jazz Unlimited ran a good second to her. I don't think there's anybody. If CA Miss was in here, she'd be even money.
Oh, she'd be less than that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. She'd be 1 to 2. Jazz Unlimited, good second behind CA Miss. For me, that puts her in the top spot. Just a nose over Maurice Glory, another one coming in that doesn't have a start. That's why I gave the edge to Jazz Unlimited. But Maurice Glory has been running much higher most of her career. When she drops down to this level, she's extremely salty. She can do it because she ran for 5 last year, so she can run here protected, which Barb Heads has chose to take advantage of. She has speed. A horse that could definitely find the winner's circle. I think it's those 2. And in the 3rd spot, I went to the 1, Haida Gwaii out of the Mike Anderson barn. Good 3rd behind CA Miss and Jazz Unlimited last time, but I think she's just a notch behind my top 2. I went 2, 7, and 1.
Yeah, I don't have a lot to add. I agree with you. I've gone 7, 2, and 1. I've gone to Maurice Glory just because of her. She has a little more pace to her, and she might be able to sneak away on Jazz Unlimited. But they're both very comparable in ability.
I like the fact Jazz Unlimited ran. That's why.
Right, and Maurice Glory's better route horse. I mean, she's better. She's a better speed distance horse, Maurice Glory, than she is a sprinter. Although her 2 sprints last year at the beginning of the year, they may look subpar. But when you look, she ran for 16 grand. Those were tough. Those were a lot tougher horses. Closing intentions. I know she did run into Jazz Unlimited, but was a pace casualty. Fair Command ended up being one of the better speed horses in the marathon or in the sprint series for Fillies and Mares. She ran against some pretty tough horses there, so she'll appreciate getting in this spot. But I agreed 2-7, 7-2. I went 7-2 and 1 in the 3rd. On to the 4th race, maiden 25,000 Fillies and Mares, going 6.5 furlongs. Field of 7 scheduled. Closing out the early pick 4. I think the 1 horse Blended looks much the best on paper. I don't know not sure why she hasn't surfaced yet this year. There was a couple of maiden allowances that have gone. I mean, she looks like she's one that is live for maiden allowance, but she skipped the opening one. She'd been working well, like she's been ready to go for a couple of weeks, but the connections choose to run her for 25 and get the money. I think they'll get it. She's live, and here Antonio Reyes rides for Mark Clucci, who takes over for Tracy McCarthy, who is in semi-retirement with her husband Chris Loseth. They're kind of they're still there in the mornings.
They can't stay away.
No, they can't. Well, it's tough. It is tough. It's like, ask your dad.
Yeah.
When is he going to retire?
78.
Never.
It'd actually be 79 in a couple weeks.
But I like Blended. Number 4, Storm Stalker, I think comes out of a good race. Tried to chase the very good Meg Geary out of the Anita Bolton barn. Chased some pretty fast fractions, 22 and 2, 45 and 1. It did tire her late. But this is, she's dropping down to maiden 25.
She ran into, that was a tough horse in Meg Geary. You'll see her in stakes soon.
Yeah, so I just think Storm Stalker's live in here for Rob Van Overshot, Mark Buchanan in the saddle. I put the 7 horse right to appeal. Great Tracy, perfect 1 for 1. Sent up a few horses. This is currently stabled in the Cindy Krasner barn, but I mean, he sent up some horses from Phoenix. Of course, he's in Alberta right now, but he was a lot of these horses were prepped at Turf Paradise in Phoenix.
And this one's a BC bred too,
Yeah,
so he sends it over here to try
yeah, I
and
know this horse is live in this spot as well, so I put her in for third. But it's a good little race, but I think Blended really does stand out, and Stormstalker to me is a good clear second. I went 1, 4, and 7.
I agree on the top pick, Blended. 3 runner-up efforts last year to overtime, Eldorado Gold, Spirit River. Was knocking on the door. He's been training forwardly for this.
I think it's a boys a lot last year. This horse should have won a race last year.
But yeah, I agree. Blended on top. I put Flair Miss, Leaf Nordall's horse, in here. Leaf's had
another 4-year-old.
Yeah, 4-year-old filly making her first start. Leaf's had some success buying horses out of Keeneland. He paid $30,000 for this daughter of Birdstone, which suggests she's going to be better as we go along. But the works look good. She's out of a good first-time barn in Mike Anderson. Gets Pedro Alvarado, so she's probably going to push her, see what he's got, try and get her as part of the pace in there. I put Flair Miss in the second spot. And Stormstalker, the Rob Van Overshot run, as you just mentioned, run into a very tough Meg Gurry last time. Meg Gurry wins by 7. She only got beat 3 lengths by Rockport Dancer, who's going to be the favorite in the maiden special weight later in the card. So Stormstalker's definitely in here with a shot. I went 1, 5, and 4 in the 4th. On to the 5th.
The aforementioned maiden allowance.
Maiden special weight for girls. And I did go to number 8, Rockport Dancer, the horse I just mentioned. Did get beat.
She's actually the 9.
Oh, is she the 9?
Yeah, no,
I got 2 8s. Uh-oh, I'm going to have to correct that. I wrote 8 twice. Going to have to correct that on my picks at the end.
We'll get her done. We'll get her done by
2 seconds. Going long last year, ran a good second behind Ambleside Park in the Fantasy, and then a second to Meg Gurry, who was very well meant opening weekend here. Meg Gurry, as I just mentioned, will be a filly you'll see in the next 3-year-old filly stake, along with Ambleside Park. She's run second to 2 basically stakes fillies, because Meg Gurry will be in the stake. And now this one comes up not quite as tough. I don't see any Meg Gurrys in here, and I think it's Rockport Dancer's turn to hit the winner's circle. The second spot, I went to John Snow Runner, Iraqi Princess. As I mentioned, John trains at his farm, and I know they're very high on this filly. John doesn't tend to tout his horses very much, but I know he's been very high on this one. So very well bred daughter, Stephanotis, out of Suwakamare. I just know that they feel that this filly has quite a bit of talent. I watched her paddock school the other day. She's big. She looks the part. So I'm going to put Iraqi Princess in the second spot. In the third spot, I put Anasazi Lass, Pop's horse out of the Dave Forster barn. Keeps hitting the board in these kind of events. She was third. Only got beat a length by Rockport Harbor last time. I'll put her in the third spot. David Lopez sticks with her. 8, 6, and 4 for me.
Yeah, I agree with the 9-horse Rockport Dancer. I mean, she's
9, 6, and 4 for me. Sorry, I got to correct that.
I'm not crazy about the 9-hole with Rockport Dancer, but because she's not blazing speed, so she, you are vulnerable to a poor trip when you get a tough draw and you don't have speed. You might have enough speed to get yourself hung 4 wide, but which would mean probable defeat. But she's a nice filly. She was geared down second. If you watch the replay, Antonio Reyes just geared her down once he knew he had second.
Not going to catch Meg Gurry.
No, because that horse is way in front, and there would have been more distance between the second and third place runners. But she ran well, and she's got some credentials, and she'll definitely break through with a win soon. She will be your likely favorite. I put the 7-horse Cute Little Vixen in for second. She's got the benefit of a race at Golden Gate. Was second for maiden 25, which would equate to a similar type race here at Hastings. But I've seen her in the morning. She's not very big. They named her right. She's cute and she's little, and but she's got a lot, quite a bit of speed to her. I think she'll break better, and she might show some speed. She's worked well over our Hastings Oval, and I think you want to keep an eye on her with Sahin Savici. And I put the 5-horse Sky Victorious firster for Mark Clucci, and the Hepburns out of their mare Answer with Victory. This one's been lighting it up in the mornings, and wouldn't be surprised to see this one be pretty live. But this is a tough race. Storm and Tizzy has a chance for Craig McPherson, another firster that the Shaws paid quite a bit of money for, and has some excellent works. As you mentioned, John's horse, Wayne Oliver, Don Tom, and Stuart Carmichael's Iraqi Princess. I mean, this horse obviously has some credentials as well. Race the Wind is a half to dance the wind. This is a well-bred bunch, as well as your dad's horse, Anasazi Lass and Bolden Lovely down there. This is a good race. No standout. I went Rockport Dancer. I went Cute Little Vixen second, and I went the 5 Sky Victress third. But I could see them all just, you know, they're all interchangeable in here. Tough 5th race to kick off the late pick 4. On to the 6th race, maiden $8,000 fillies and mares going 6.5. I think this one's a little simpler. I've gone to the 8 Bullet. He looks to be, or she looks to be perhaps a pick 4 key or a pick 6 key, dropping from maiden special. Didn't get out of the gate as well as I know. You know, the Connections would have liked, but still Meg Geary got out of there and was gone 22-2, 45-1. Those are incredible fractions, going 6 and went in 110. So a lot easier assignment for Bullet. So I'll put her on top. Put the 2 Said Taylor in for second. Connections think enough of her to run, you know, bump up from maiden 4 up to the 8, and she was a good, you know, runner-up behind Cassidy Command. We'll watch her run earlier in the weekend, and we'll see how she does. That'll definitely, you know, give you a little indication how good Taylor Said may be today. I put the 7 Silver Ovation in for third. She was a runner-up. I didn't know where to go for third. There's some horses like Firsters, the 3 Striding for Gold, and the 4 Ruffy Rose that have some good pedigrees that might be worth a look in the paddock. But nothing special for me other than the 8 Bullet. I gone to him to win it, or her to win it, 8-2-7.
I don't have much to add. Bullet, as you mentioned, been running, you know, in stakes and maiden special weights her whole life, and you know, Dino's, you know, in Swift, they place their horses aggressively. Disappointed opening weekend, was 4-1 in that race in the maiden special weight, and she didn't run any good, and they dropped her down to 8. And I think she's a standout here. Said Taylor, as you mentioned, the Troy Taylor barn. They could have waited for a 4, ran it back for 4, but they think that she's improved enough off.
There is a 4
race.
this weekend.
Yeah,
there is a 4, so she could have been in it. They're in for the 8.
They're in for the 8. They feel that she took a big step forward off that first race, and her in second in Silver Ovation. Out of the Sylvia Gregory barn, Sylvia's off to a very good start. 5 of her first 8, running first or second. Got that one in third. I see it the same as Mike. 8-2-7 in the 6th. On the 7th, 3 and up, 4,000 non-2, going 6.5 furlongs, and. I've gone to the Troy Taylor runner in here. Why is the Rum Gone? I thought a really good race that opening weekend.
Unlucky to lose.
Yeah, he just couldn't quite wear down Cowboy Commander, but David Lopez, you could see him starting to kind of figure out the bull ring. Got him in a good spot early, lapped onto Cowboy Commander, and just tried to run him down and couldn't quite get there. But I think Why is the Rum Gone off that race should be very tough in here. I put the 4 Fashionista in second. He was third in that race, and he's another one that likes to hit the board a fair bit, and son of Old Fashioned. He's got some back class, you know, well-bred, and been claimed last year by Dave Dahl, and they had some success with him. He likes to hit the board, and got him in second spot. And Regal Legacy, who finally broke through and broke his maiden opening weekend after numerous tries, but against tougher. And he was cut out to be a fairly nice horse, and I think maybe with that win under his belt, he might get some confidence and could take a big step forward there. So I got him in the third spot, but he could end up higher for sure. I got 2-4-1.
Yeah, no, it was great to see Regal Legacy win for Marion McAfee, who, of course, is still battling cancer, and it was nice to see her horse win. And I know she bred the horse. She had the mare Regal Holdings, and I know it definitely would have brought a tear to her eye to see that Regal Legacy get the job done, but he did it very easily. He's definitely going to be a major player in here. I see it the same way as you. I've gone 2 Why is the Rum Gone over the 4 Fashionista and the 1 Regal Legacy. Don't really love one more than the other. I think if you need 3 horses.
Exactly, I got Regal Legacy in the third spot, and I could see him winning.
Put the three of them in there, and maybe one that might improve would be the 6 on the Sunny Side. This horse actually broke quite well, and it was taken back, and then just never got in the running. I think there's more to offer for this horse. I'm a long shot to throw in your pick 4 or your Superfecta. But I went 2-4-1, but I think they're all interchangeable in race number 7. On to the 8th and final, 5,000 claimers going 6.5 furlongs. We do have 8 of them headed to the gate to meet starter Joey Gray, and I've gone to the 1 Vying for Glory. I liked this horse last year, first time out. He did win first time out, defeating Veni Vidi Vici in 3-point play, and I thought this horse has been working well for Craig McPherson. The connections haven't changed, and I think this horse's best races were early. I know this horse ended up being a marathon horse. It ended up being pretty salty in the marathon races. Ran some good, ran against some pretty good horses and gave a good account of himself. And I just think this is an easier race for Vying for Glory. He's faced way tougher company. Tommy Danziger, Talkett, those are way better horses than a lot of these.
Mark Gamby.
But the horse can run protected because it ran for 5 last year, and I like Vying for for Glory. I put the 7, Lucky Moly Miner. Has a fitness edge on most of these. Just got beat last time to Wise Boss. Going 6, 6.5 will definitely help Lucky Moly Miner. And the 4 horse, I'm Big Trouble's a pretty honest horse. He always seems to be in the mix, and he can sprint, he can route, he just does anything you want. Jeff, I'm sure had a tough decision which horse to ride, but when you just get beaten a photo on Lucky Moly Miner, it's tough to take off that one.
Yeah, and Wise Boss.
And pick up Antonio Reyes on I'm Big Trouble, which is good, and I'm Big Trouble drew better than Lucky Moly Miner, so that might be the difference. But I went 1, 7, and 4, but once again, another race where there's many chances.
Yeah, I got different horses. Well, except for I'm Big Trouble, I put on top.
Yeah.
You look, his first race last year, he didn't get to the races till end of, basically July. It was June 29th, so right at the end of June. And came running good second to Hockley, who was really salty.
That was a big race.
Yeah, and Hockley, been running and was really salty at that, that level. So I looked at that and I thought that was a big one off the bench. I like the 115 work. I think he's working forwardly for this, and Barb's off to a good start. And he's running protected, and he gets Antonio Reyes. I put on Big Trouble on top. I put Chapel Boy in the second spot.
I don't mind that horse. That horse got a shot.
Yeah, he closed out the meet last year with 2 wins, both with 71 buyers over Arkhill and Wise Boss after court. Some decent horses. And Harold's horses have been training well this spring, and this one's been working well too. And he gets Sean Ceviche. He is in the 8-hole, but Chapel Boy's just one of those horses, always gives you an honest effort and likes to hit the board too. In the third spot, I put Step Up. He was well backed in his first start in that Wise Boss Lucky Moly Miner race. And disappointed, just kind of ran a, disappointing 5th. He got up near the pace and kind of fell apart a little bit. But John Morrison does a very good job, and he's at the right level. He's got a race under his belt, and I think maybe he could take a step forward, so I threw him in. I went 4, 8, and 5 in the nightcap. That'll do it for our analysis of the Sunday card. Up next will be our picks. There's Mike, as always,
Okay.
first.
Back in race number 1. I went to the 5 horse after the conflict, hoping for a wire-to-wire performance from the Paddy Leany runner. I went 5, 2, and 3. Race number 2, I went to the 3, three-way trade, 3, 4, 6. In the third race, I went to the 7, Maury's Glory over the 2, Jazz Unlimited, 7, 2, and 1 in the third. In the fourth race, number 1, Blended. Certainly a good chance for her today. Went to the 4, Storm Stalker for second, and the 7, Right to Appeal. Fifth race, start off late, pick 4. Went to the 9, Rockport Dancer over the 7, Cute Little Vixen. 5, Sky Victress for third. Race number 6, might be the best bet of the day. Number 8, Bullet over the 2 and 7. Race number 7, I went to the 2, Why Is the Rum Gone? Over the 4, Fashionista, 2 and the 1, Regal Legacy. And in the 8th and final, went to the 1, Vying for Glory. He won first time out last year. I'll try him back first time out this year. I went 1, 7, and 4.
And on to my picks. I'm up next. There we are. In the first, I went to the 3, Franzer's Finest over the 5 and the 4. In the second, again on the 3, three-way trade over the 4 and the 7. In the third, I went to the 2, Jazz Unlimited over the 7 and the 1. In the fourth, I went to the 1, like Mike, Blended over the 5 and the 4. Actually, we close out the day very similar here. In the fifth, number 9, Rockport Dancer.
Yeah,
over
it should
the
be 9,
6,
4. We'll get that corrected on when we
fixed.
get the selections up there on the web.
The 9, Rockport Dancer over the 6 and the 4. In the 6th, number 8, Bullet over the 2 and the 7. In the 7th, number 2, Why Is the Rum Gone over the 4 and the 1. And in the nightcap, I went to the 4, I'm Big Trouble over the 8 and the 5.
Well, that'll do it for the Sunday edition of Handicapper's Corner, brought to you by the Derby Bar and Grill.
Yeah, they're trying to toss us out early.
I know, they got this.
Getting 86.
Out.
Would be the first time.
Our thanks to our great staff here.
Yes.
We never underappreciate Kathy and Jason and the crew here. But that'll do it for this edition.
Preakness weekend next weekend. Don't forget Preakness.
Yep.
Still room here at the Derby, 536-2978. Give us
536-2978. You better get that. Yeah, get in because it was packed, as we mentioned earlier, for the Kentucky Derby, and they will be packed again for the Preakness. Should be a lot of fun. See if American Pharaoh can continue on his trek to maybe become the first Triple Crown winner since 1978. Should be a lot of fun. Races start off at 1:50. Great weather. Please do come on out. If you can't make it out, come out here to the Derby this Sunday, May the 10th. On behalf of Drew, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time here at the Derby Bar and Grill for Handicapper's Corner.